Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shed Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of Project Architect 2, and today we have mechanical crafters behind me. I just went ahead, crafted these off camera. They didn't do too much to make these hard or anything, so we are good to craft these. And what I'm actually going to do is actually configure these on camera, because I did not configure them before. But yeah, so we just right-click, and basically you want these belts to feed into each other. And then the last belt should feed into a barrel of sorts. Okay? And since this is already up and going with the windmill, we should be able, and I don't know if this is a shapeless recipe. I don't think it is. So we're going to try and remember how we do this. So B pig axolotl. B pig axolotl. Why am I, hold on. Why am I doing it this way? Archimeat. Get the recipe put over here. Dragon Goat Warden. So Dragon Goat Warden. And then Wither Guardian Evoker. Okay. So we will just do this one row at a time. Just like so. And actually, you know what? I'm going to try this out of order. Okay, so it's shapeless. Okay. So the other thing is that the reason this says EMC duplication, where is it at here? Oh, it actually did fail. I thought it wouldn't. Okay. So we have to actually put this in correctly. Which is kind of surprising to me. Why you wouldn't make this shapeless. But it does. I don't even know if this actually has support for shapeless recipes. Because I don't know much about Create, in all honesty. So we'll give that one a go. But this is actually 50 million EMC. And these are only 20 million EMC to make one of these. So this is actually going to be something we're going to want to automate soon. Like, right this episode. Because once this gets put into the barrel, we complete a quest, but we also want to just put that in our system. Okay? Perfect. So let's clear this out real quick. And it did not complete. It did not register the Wither Charm because I did not put the Wither Charm in my inventory. Which is just the problem with AE2 in a little ways. I really want to go through the process of getting this again. I guess I can. Be right back. Okay. That should have completed it. I just crafted it real quick. It did. Perfect. So grab all of the rewards. And we got nothing great. Okay. That is fine by me. But that should get us done with that. But yes, Archimeat, the EMC duper. This is the start of EMC duping line of the quest. And that is because this is 50 million compared to the 20 million it requires to make these items. So what I want to do now is I actually want to get Mark 7. I think. Mark 7. I need these toasts to go away for a second, though. Is it called Mark 7? Oh, it's Mark Space 7. Because we do have all of these different Mark energy links, EMC links things. And I actually have not made a single one of these guys. Which is something we're going to do this episode because we probably need to. So let's grab out a handful of these guys. And do that. And then Mark 2. Actually, let's make sure that we're EMCing these guys. Before I just, like, keep going as quickly as possible. And then EMC. And then the next one. And then EMC. And then the next one, which is going to require a different type of matter. So we need eternalist fuel. So press use on this. Magenta matter. Let's grab like 8 of these. Let's go actually higher than that. So then Mark 4. Okay, so I'm going to pull out all of the fuel that we don't really need and toss it back in here, which should give us more. But we're probably going to need a lot more of this to keep on keeping on with this. But I think we're kind of at the point where we don't need to do more of these. So we're just going to do Cyan EMC Link 9. And I think we'll call it there for now. Okay. And we're back at almost 1 billion. So that's perfect. And we don't really need the tier 9. So we're actually going to burn that one as well. So we're back to the 2 billion. Okay. I know that was really a complicated process, but we got up to tier 9. And what we're going to need is we're going to basically need a system with these EMC links to convert to the Archimeat, right? So we're wanting to figure out one that does 50 EMC limit. So that one's 68.71 billion, 1 million. That one is 16 million. And this one is 268.43 million. So let's go with that one. And we're going to break the barrel. We're going to put this here, and we're going to right-click with that. Okay. And what we'll do is then we also need a handful of the other ones. So let's look up Mark and then space. So I don't know if we need to do like Mark 5s or if we can do lower. I think I'll do these guys. We want 9 of these guys. And basically what we're going to want to do is get these all placed down. That is not what I meant to do, by the way. Take my pants off real fast. And actually move these guys up one. I don't know why I put them so far back. Because we're not going to do any fancy transportation or anything. We're just going to do direct transport to the front. Okay, so let's grab the Archimeat recipe. Use. So we're going to bookmark this recipe. So B pig axolotl. So B pig axolotl. So B pig axolotl. And then the next row, which is dragon, goat, warden. Dragon, goat. Technically G.O.A.T. Yep. And then warden. So this, here, here, and here. So wither, guardian, and then evoker. The wither, elder guardian, evoker. And what should happen is we should see our EMC increase whenever this is done. So even though we just used 20 million, this should skyrocket by 20 million. Or by 30 million. My bad. Yeah, so we see the 50 million, but the cost to make another set is going to be the 20 million. All right. So we're just going to do pipes. We're not going to do anything fancy because I really don't feel like doing anything too fancy. I want this to kind of be as simple as possible. Okay. And then we're just going to set these guys to extract. Okay. And that should go. And of course, we'll probably want to speed this up. I'll probably make the windmill a little bit taller. We could look at electric motors. I don't really feel like getting into create more. Not right now, at least. So that's something that we can definitely speed this up with. But this is just going to keep going repetitively. And we'll technically never lose any amount of EMC. Because at the end of the day, we result in 30 million EMC every single operation. But yeah, I definitely want to speed this up, and the way to do that is to make the windmill probably further up, and that way I can put more gears just like that and get us further and further. But yeah, so let me be back. Let me get the windmill to be more efficient, and yeah, we'll let this run. Hey, quick interjection here. If you guys are enjoying the video, if you could leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, that would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, let's get back into the video. Okay, so I've been letting this run. We're almost at 10 billion EMC, and I'm going to work on tearing this out, which includes all of this down here, all the under portions, all the Farmer's Delight cutting, even the actual portion over here as well. I just don't feel like we need it anymore. I would love to keep it, but honestly, we don't need the pig. The only thing I could think of is maybe the cooked crab, but this doesn't come in fast enough. But I think we could use this as food for us just in general. May not be a bad idea. But I think everything else, chocolate, all of that stuff, I don't think we need it any further. So yeah, it's kind of just a little bit of a waste of space in my opinion right now. And we don't really need it. All right, we are going to work on fixing up a couple things because we still don't really have the greatest archwood tree farm, right? We can make this better with Industrial Foregoing, which we want the gatherer, the plant gatherer right here, and we want the plant sower. So let's get this one here first. Get everything crafted up here. So the good thing with us being able to get into all of this is now, yes, we have access to better pieces than just create. So we also want to grab the sower. And iron gear. And we should just be able to auto-craft the pity machine frame. Okay. So the plant sower actually goes below this block. Let's just mine down here. So that'll go right here. And we're going to keep the same premise of saplings are down here. Let's see, where is my pipe wrench or create wrench or something? Let's take these off for a second. And that should be good. So that, once we supply power to it, which I guess we could actually just get a flux point. Flux point. We'll grab 2 of these guys. And shuts network. Beautiful. And that should grow pretty quickly. And then I think for the range add-on that we're going to do, let's go add-on. Let's go for 8. I think that's what sounds good. Make sure we get rid of latex. And put that in here. And we'll send that to be crafted. Okay, why is this not working? I know it's dark out here right now. Get like the light level increased over here. There we go. I was thinking that may work. Okay, add on. And then let's also quickly grab all of this other stuff. And also the flux point. That might help us. And I made this much, much bigger in the range, by the way, because this is massive. So that way it cuts down every bit of the tree. And technically we could push this back or add more. It doesn't really matter to me. But yes, this is functioning. That is beautiful. I'm going to turn this off for a second. And we are going to quickly get these volcanic source links back up and going. But I'm going to push everything back because I did realize that I made it a little too close, but I don't feel like moving that right now. So we're just going to do this. And we are going to push these guys back. The arcane pedestals. And then the storage controller. And the archwood. We're good. We're good. We can put that there. And this is the leaves and the twigs. And this time we're just going to grab a void upgrade for both. And that should be golden. I'm not going to EMC them anymore. But we will grab both of these things. Okay. And then we're going to get a pipe upgrade. Let's just do advanced. And we'll grab the item pipe. I'm going to turn these guys off for a second. Grab a piece of archwood. And then make sure, of course, archwood is the only thing going in here. And then reactivate. So that should improve that. Let's turn this output to be pushed behind. Hopefully that'll work. Doesn't look like it might not work. And I'm really tired of just being attacked. I wish the magma torches were massive range compared to what they are. Okay, so we may have to push this forward one. Even though I was trying to avoid that. Okay. And then we just get pipes. Death. Death. That'll work. Oh, and then we need to go link the sapling drawer. There we go. We're golden. And that should be done. Simple as that, right? Very quick, very fast. And it should be actually better than the create one in general, because now it's just 2 simple pieces, no windmills, no nothing down below. Okay. So the reason we're worrying about this right now is because we're actually going to be getting into the next piece of this, right? We're going to get into the Archiva, and we're going to kind of start getting this set up, okay? And one of the things that we need to do is we need to make a lot of different essences, and these are all the essences you need to make. And you also need to make a Wilden tribute, which I'm not sure how we're going to go about this, because I don't know if there's a way to automate the Wilden tribute piece. There may be, and I think we want to look at how or if we can quite simply here. Let's go grab the ritual here that we have. We have one more left. And we want to grab every piece of the Wilden beasts. So 1, 2, 3. And I want to grab the mob yoinker. Okay. And we're going to see if we can pick this guy up and contain him in a containment jar. Because I don't know if we can. Where did I put the ritual brazier? Way down here. So this, activate. And we'll see if we can yoink him. And then we'll see if we can actually put him in a jar. Okay, we can. We can pick up the Wilden Chimera. So now we want to make sure that we can put him in a containment jar. So containment jar. So this, there. Can we contain him? Okay, he spawned creatures, and those creatures got contained. So can I contain him? It does not look... Well, actually, I can't tell, because I don't have source over here. Hold on. Kind of forget. I moved this a second ago. Will it work? Okay. So the Wilden Chimera is captured. Where did the jar just go? Is this... This is not the jar. The jar got captured by another jar. Okay, that is confusing. Alright, let's put this guy down. And we will have to get a dispel for this one. I should have dispel in here, right? It shouldn't be like spellbook specific. Okay, he got recaptured right as I did that. So let's get the source jar gone. Dispel, take out. Perfect. Okay. So does that mean that we now will get the Wilden Chimera's Wilden Tribute? That is, I guess, the next question. Because if it doesn't work, then I'll have to figure out something. But I don't know if I have an answer. Okay, even though this would be the simpler way, it appears the Wilden Chimera does not work that way, which is kind of weird. Why would you even be able to contain him if he doesn't actually drop things? But I guess it's kind of like player specific, which means that we would have to figure out a spawn automation for this guy, which we can do, but I don't know about right now. Okay, next little piece, we're going to try Mob Crusher. I've actually still got this guy in the containment jar. We are going to plop him down, and this should be active and everything. Show working area, and we're going to dispel. And that did work. Okay, so basically what we need to do now is we need to set up a kill box area for the Wilden Tribute, right? Or the Wilden boss. And I don't think that's going to be that difficult. It's just we need to make sure that we feed everything into this before it activates. And we just do that automatically, right? Like I think we could figure out a way to do this. I'm not sure though, because I'm not 100% knowledgeable on if ours automation works that way. Kind of one thing I want to do is look up inventory reader, because I would assume that this is an inventory, right? So let's just do this on camera. We may not have an automated system by the end of this, but that's okay. Let's grab a display panel. Kind of just do some on-screen, on-camera action here. Let's also grab another logic cable set, because I want to actually have this at my height. Okay. So basically what I want to do is I want to grab a variable card. I want to see what is in the inventory. So we want to look for items. And that items card is going to go in here. Okay? So if I grab the ritual, the summoning ritual, which is right here, which it looks like I need Vexing Archwood. So Vexing Archwood. So if I put this in here, okay, so this does not register as an item. So if I grab the Wilden pieces, okay, so that doesn't count either. And there is no items in the inventory. So how do we check? I guess comparator, right? Like comparator's the only thing that I can think of. So right now it's 0. So if we grab the rest of this. So no, it's still 0. How does that even function? Is there some like funkiness where this is the actual piece and not the bottom? Which I highly doubt. Display panel. And we need to remake this. But no, there's no items there either. Okay. How do we go about automating something like this? Okay, let's try block reader. I don't want to put it there. I want to put it on the side here. And let's see if this may work. Because there's got to be something, right? There's got to be some information in here that we can look at. We can see there's a block. There's no title entity in BT. That seems wrong. There is. There is. Context. Wilden summon. ID. I'm kind of wondering what context is. So let's do... so this is how we're going to do this. We're going to keep looking, of course, but I want to look at the NBT that this contains. So let's go string, and we want to pull context. Okay. And NBT. Let's see. Has key. So NBT string there. No, because we don't want to know if it has it. We want to get it. So probably get rather than the other one. Because we don't want a boolean. We know it's there. Okay. So we now want to put this here, but we need a variable store. Okay, I'll have to go get some more mineral. Let me do that real quick. Okay, variable store. Place that guy down. And we are doing this. And where's the last one? Did I not take it out or something? Oh, no, it's not that one. That one is something else. Let's get rid of that one. Okay, so we still have... Oh, wait, put it in here. So we're still needing... They call it mana. They don't call it source. This is a scandal. This is a scandal, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. But that means that we need to burrow down further into this one, which means that we need to do another string and called items, right? That's what we were looking at. And we need to do NBT, and we need to look at get tag that here, do this. And then put this one in here, and it's got nothing. Did I do this wrong? No, it's item __ tag. Okay, I read that in the actual brackets, I think, is what I did wrong. So we'll pull this one back out. So string. So item __ tag. And then get _ key. Or get tag, is that what it's called? Yeah, get tag. So those two in there, this one in here. Did I do it wrong again? I might get it right one of these times. No, I just put the wrong one in. No? I'm so confused. Hold on. What did I just... Okay, so... This one here is compared to 7 and 8. Okay, so this one and this one. So item tag... Okay, I did it right. I think I just had this one still from the first attempt. Okay. So we can see that item size is 3. So I think that's kind of where we need to look, right? I mean, we could check that there's a wing, a spike, and a horn, and then upon those checks, then activate a activator module or something. But I think I want to base it off of item size. So I think that works. I think. So basically, we would want to take this and say... Hold on, let's check one more time. So item size, let's just keep that in there for a second. So item, oh no, string. So items size. And then we want to do get _ tag. Okay. So get _ tag. So this NBT plus this would get us that. And then if we can cast this to an integer, maybe we do get integer instead. We'll try this one and the other one, just in case. Okay, so that one, and then that one. And then if we put this guy in here, so that gets us 3. And here's the integer one. Okay, so they both result in 3. So the other one would be a string value. The one that I just cleared would be a string value, but we want an integer value. Because now we can say, hey, if this integer is equal to 3, so if this integer is equal to 3, so we want to do equals equals. So if this is equal to this, that'll give us a true or false. So then we do redstone writer. And a redstone lamp. And we make sure to put this in here. And we put this down. That would work. Okay. So I'm going to destroy this, which is going to get us our items back. So right now, nothing. Okay, summon Wilden. Wilden Spike, Wilden Horn, Wilden Wing, activated. Okay, so I know that was a very convoluted process, but overall, I don't think that's that bad. But the other thing is we need to make sure we have maybe a signal to check and see if there is the actual ritual in here, which I think using this card here, we can look and we can see that the current ritual ID is Ars Nueva Ritual Wilden Summon. Okay, so is that... Okay, let's break this one more time. So I'm curious to see if Cube.js hand... Okay, Ritual Wilden Summon. So we can click on this to copy. So I'm going to double click on that. And I'm going to put this back here. And I want to take this out for a second. And I'm going to do one more thing. So string. Then paste. So that is the Ars Ritual Wilden Summon. And then I think we also need Ritual ID. Well, let's just check here real quick. No, it's just called ID. Okay. So string, if I could actually read and remember what things are actually at. So ID, and that would be get tag. So this to this to this. And this may not be necessary, by the way. Like, genuinely, I don't know. And then we do the value operand. So let's do equals NBT. So I'm thinking, hold on. Can you, like, die? Thank you. Okay. So real quick, so what does this equal? So this just equals that string. So can I convert this to a string? Let's see. So I think I need to do NBT get string rather than what I did first. So get underscore string. So I need also that value, this one. So get underscore string. And we're going to do this and ID. And we're going to replace this one with a string value. And we're going to say equals equals. So we're going to want this string value here needs to equal this string value here and there. Okay? Then everything else, besides what we need, can go in here. So did I do something wrong? Because it looks like I did something wrong. Why are you doing that? That's not what I wanted. Oh, you know why? It's because I used the variable card. I need to use this one, I think, right? Not that one. Is it this one? It's this one. And technically right now there's no actual ritual in here, is there? Yeah, there's a ritual. Where did I mess up? Because I see that I messed up. Okay, I need to be a little bit more organized with this because this is kind of insane. So basically, this is our main, and our second, our one that we want for checking to make sure what items are in there is context, and then from context, we take item tag, and then with the item tag, we take item size, and the item size is integer in this one. And then for the Wilden summons, let's just check this one. Okay, so that's actually one we need for this integer. And then this one. So this is, I think, the ID one. Because I see where I messed up at. So this is for... Let's clear this one. So this one is for the count, right? If we put all 3 items in here. Okay, so that one's for the count. So I'm actually going to slot this one at the very end here. And we need this one back. And we need, I think, this one back. Actually, no. This one is part of this whole line. Which I think this is the result of the item tag. Somewhere in that route. Okay. The reason I'm doing that, by the way, is because I actually was trying to do the Wilden summons, and I kind of goofed several times, and I think it's because I'm not clear enough. So, what we need to do, and I'm just going to kind of run this back from 0, because I'm starting back at 0, is we have the ritual ID, okay? And with the ritual ID, we can actually take the tablet of Summon Wilden. So with the Wilden summon tablet thing, we can actually do cube.js and then hand, and that will give us this right here. We want to click on this, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to put that back in there, and you'll see that there's a ritual ID. Now the ritual ID is actually what we want to put as a string. So we're going to paste this in here. We're going to pull this out, okay? And we're also going to grab a string card for ritual ID, and we're going to pull that out as well, because that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for that ritual ID. And we're also going to take this card out, and we're going to do get tag. Actually, no, we want to do get string. My bad. So get underscore string, which we're wanting this NBT get string. Put that in here. Put the ritual ID in here first, and then put a variable card. Okay. And then we're going to go equals equals. Click on that. Do this plus the value that we pasted in earlier. And then a variable card. Okay. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to keep that at the bottom. And then ritual ID. And then this one. And then this one at the end. So I think we can actually just leave these guys about there. Okay. And then I should put this in here, and this should register true. It does not. Okay, where did I mess up? The ritual ID. So I want to make sure I put the ritual ID in there properly, because I think this has to match 1-to-1. RITUAL. RITUAL ID. And then Ars Navu Ritual Wilden Summon. Ritual Wilden Summon. Put this guy back in here. Ars Navu Ritual Wilden Summon. And this is registering as a string, right? I see why. That's a mistake. So with the cube.js hand copy, for some reason, it pastes the quotes around it, or the single quote around it, and that's the problem. Okay, not a big problem, just a problem. So equals equals, and variable card. Put that back in here for a second. So that should register as true. And we put this in here. That should light up. So basically, now we have the ability, which I'm going to pull this one out of here. I'm going to put it in the end slot here. So these are our results. Okay? And technically, I'm going to have to redo this in a proper location. Okay, so this episode's going to drag on for just a little while longer because we're restarting this down in the basement. Because we kind of have the general idea, right? We have the ability to get the information that we need. Which, of course, first things first, we need to make sure, of course, the ritual is active. If it's not active, we need to be able to activate it. So I actually need one more redstone writer. This is going to be ridiculous. There is so many easier ways to do something like this. I just don't really care. I am enjoying doing it this way. This is a challenge, and I am up for it. Okay, so redstone writer. And we want to make sure that the ritual is active. Okay? So that is our first goal. Let's clear out this portion. Let's get these guys down here. Let's get this down here. Let's get our logic programmer out. And let's get this cruising. So we know that we need the ritual ID. Okay, and I should still have that pasted in here. Perfect, I do. So let's get that put in a string card. So string, and make sure we get rid of the single quotations. Or apostrophes, I guess, technically. Coding, single quotation, whatever. It's okay. And then we also want to do string, or no, I mean, yes, string, but ritual ID. And then we also want to make sure that with this, so we get underscore string, we do this plus the ritual ID to then get us the card here. And I think I need to get rid of this one before it becomes confusing. And then we'll do equals equals. And that will be this string plus a variable card. And that should be displayable. Okay, so right now false because we don't have the ritual in there. Of summon Wilden. So now it's true. So basically, what we would want to do is, if it is not true, we'd want to turn on a modular router, right? So this one's going to go back here, and we're going to grab a modular router. This one may have stuff in it. But we're going to set this to require no power. Can I invert this? I don't think I can invert this. So what I may want to do is do a not and just flip the power, basically. So if I put this in here, it should register as false if I put this in here. And that's what we want. Okay? So the redstone should not be active. So if we do high and we take this out for a second. Oop, not that. Turn my magnet on. Don't know why it's off. If we take this out, we do this. This should technically be powered. And that is because we want to put the activator module. And we're going to do activator module front, right click, and whitelist that. Okay? So now this should be off. And we should be golden. Okay? One right click to do that. And now we are waiting on the next pieces. So the only difference that we're going to do with the next portion, because this is going to break everything once I pull this out of here, we are going to want to do the exact same thing with this as we did previous. So what did I... Oh, I put this in here. I was like, where did I put it? We're going to do string context. and then get underscore tag. So this, this, this. Put that in there. And we're going to do item tag next. So string, and then item underscore underscore tag. Perfect. And we're going to then want to take the NBT one here. We're going to do get underscore tag again. NBT string variable card. Okay, so we're burrowing down just another level. We're going to put this guy in here. And that is item size 0. Okay? So, and that's because, of course, we have nothing in here. So if we grab the Wilden Spike, Wilden Horn, and Wilden Wing, we can see that there is now an item of each. Okay? And I think what we'll want to do is we'll want to dictate which item is which. Okay? So for example, item 1, item 2, and item 0, we probably would want to say, let's actually check something here real quick. I'm going to toss this guy back in here. So item 0's first, item 1, item 2. Okay, it just puts them in weird order. That's what I was trying to look at. So what I would want to do for this one is I'm going to make 3 different variable cards and do a string for each one of these guys. I don't know if this is necessary, but we'll do it. Item underscore underscore 0. Item underscore underscore 1. And then item underscore underscore 2. And then we're going to say that we also want to grab a string of ID. And also, I need to look at this one more time. Okay, so that should be the layer that we need to go down. So get underscore tag, NBT item 0, variable card. Okay, and then variable card ID, variable card. I think that's really confusing, but we will go with it. So item card 0, and then which NBT is this? So this is our main NBT, so we'll put that down here. But we probably need to put it inside of here. Just for a second. Oh, I need the ID card in here too, right? Okay, so that's what we're looking for. So that would tell us, hey, the Wilden Spike is in here. We need this in slot 0. Okay? So slot 0 is... that would work. But we actually want to make sure that we do... so let's go back to square one with this. Just because I think that'll make it easier. So basically, what I need to do is, instead of what I just did, I want to do the get underscore tag. So this one should be NBT. So get underscore tag. This one here. This one here. Variable card, NBT. Okay? So this is the primary. This is the one we just made. And then we want to do get string. And so this one on ID, either that, can we do get item? Is that a thing we can do? I thought there was one to do that. But maybe I'm wrong. We're okay. We'll keep doing it this way for now. Variable card, and that should be what we need. Okay? So I'm going to just put this in here, and this in here, and this in here. And then this one. Okay. So Wilden Spike. Perfect. So then, of course, we'd want to do string. And we can actually do... Let me grab a spike, because I don't have any in here. So cube.js/hand. So we just did the cube.js, and I think that's correct. It's going to leave the 64. Okay, so let's just clean this up over here. And we'll copy. And we're going to do string variable card paste, snag that out, and then equals equals. Okay. So then that is going to go in here with all of the other things. So I'm actually going to do this a little bit differently. So item 0, the ID is going to be universal, and this is universal too, right? No, this is for the Wilden Spike specifically. Okay. Perfect. I don't know what that one was. I think it was an attempt, but that's okay. So ID, and then we need this one back. Perfect. I grabbed the right one. So then we're just going to do the exact same thing, and I'll be right back, because I'm just going to do it off camera, all 3 items, and we'll be back. Okay, so what we're going to try, we're going to place one of these guys down with the activator module, which I'll have to make some more of these guys. So I've got a little bit of like a diagram in front of me of how I did this. So this one is actually spike on the front, and it'll right-click on low power. So right now it should work, but we need the ritual to activate. So this will not work unless the ritual is activated. So do this. Okay. And now this should be powered, and it shouldn't right-click. Okay. So the same thing with the next ones. So activator module. Nope, I did not mean to throw that in there, but that should be fine. Okay. So this one we will say is the wing. Come on. Oh, I gotta put it down here. My bad. Whitelist, front, and then low power. Okay, so this one is here. And we put the wing back in. Front, whitelist. You don't have power. What are you doing? Hmm. Turned off. What does that mean? Does that mean that a signal has been tossed to it? Is that what that means? Like this signal is being passed through? Yes, that's what that meant. Okay, we just wasted a ritual, but that's fine. Let me clear this real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so we saw that happened, and I'm thinking the only way to fix this is with entangled blocks, but I may be wrong, and this may not work at all, but we shall see. Because I'm pretty sure this, anytime this gets power, anytime any of them get power, it's going to force that ritual to lock, which is not what we want to see. So let's take that, and I actually guess I need to keep the router here, and we're going to just flip it to the opposite direction. So entangled binder here to here, pull this off. Entangled binder, let's see, which one was which? So this one. So here to here. And then this one. Oh, I need to put the card in. Let's not just jump too quickly here. So here. Do that. And then binder to here. And let's get this guy set up. So we need the Wilden horn, whitelist front, and then make sure that this is set to low. Okay. And then bind to there. And then make sure we put the cards back in. 53, 43 for the horn. So 43, 53. 43, 53. So that one. And then this one. Okay. So we will see if we can get this to work. And I guess technically this one does not need the not operator. We could have probably just done low, but since we already have it, we will send it. Okay, let's get rid of this. So, ritual. So my only concern right now is this is going to do what it just did a second ago because we don't have those not operators. That's what I'm thinking the problem is as well, but we shall see. Because I think it's trying to still right-click even though it can't. Or shouldn't, right? It can click whenever the ritual's not active. So let's actually feed these guys everything they could need. So we want spikes, wings, and horn. And then we also do need, of course, the summon. Let's just look up summon, Wilden. Bookmark that guy. Okay, so that's a problem. What is it doing? Well, that's an issue that I didn't foresee. Why did these guys not power? Okay, so let's try just giving these guys one for a second. So I don't think this is going to work. I don't think the power is going to run through it. So how do we do this without locking the brazier? Could we do laser IO with that without that being a problem? So, because I don't think the not operator one is going to give us an issue, right? This one should function. Okay. The issue becomes these guys, but they're also false. What? That shouldn't be false. 3945. 210. Let's put this back. So 2 should be the... Nope, it's... They put them in the wrong way. I don't have a delay either. I don't have a way to delay these, I don't think. I don't even think I can do that with this, right? Like, there's no way to add a delay. Okay, so after some experimentation, we don't want anything on the top layer, so I've moved the laser node over, and I've added another redstone writer, but I have not changed anything internally yet, because we're actually going to do what we did earlier with the display panel. We're going to check out something here. So that is not the right card we want. That is not the right card we want. It's going to let me... So I think the card I want here... Well, it has to be one of these guys. Oh, it's because there's no activity, right? Hold on. If I do... Which this I think may not work, but we'll see. Because this may activate the ritual immediately. Okay, it does not. Which is what I want to see. Because I think I have it broken right now, right? It may activate if I do something like this. No? Okay, so the whitelist is keeping it in check, which is good. So, we want this one, and we want to actually go back and kind of do a little bit more shenanigans with this. Logic programmer. Because I want to basically take the... Which part is it? Just item size. So, integer or get underscore integer. Because I think we did this one earlier, right? Where we were able to pull the integer off of this. All right, so real quick. So we want to make sure item size is the string we need. Just wanted to verify. Item. So string item size. Okay, check one more time. Item size, perfect. And we're going to do get underscore integer. Underscore integer. There we go. There to here. And we want to make sure that this value is equal to 3. Okay. So let's toss this in here. So 0 right now, which is not what we want because we have no items in the actual ritual. But we're going to say equals equals. I guess we need an integer first, right? We need to make an integer of 3. So equals equals. So this is equal to 3. And that is going to be our variable card down here. Okay? So this and this. And that should make that work. Okay? So let's patch this back up. And what I want to do is I'm going to put more items in here. So I'm going to take the ritual brazier out for just a second. And we're going to put this back in here in a second. But we want the spike, the wing, and this. And then toss. And then is that working? False. You should not be false. Items. Size. That is where I screwed up. I figured I would do it again. Okay, let's get this taken out so we don't accidentally activate it. And let's get it placed back down with the ritual activating it. Okay, so that'll show us back up. And what I need to do is fix this. So this is string items size. I don't know why they put 2 S's right there, but that's fine. So then get underscore integer. So this right here. And we're going to do this down here. Hold on. So this here and this here will be this here. And then equals equals. This in the first slot, this in the second slot, this overwritten. Okay. And hopefully, that is what we want. So we'll restart this whole thing. So, spike, wing, horn, and summon. Put this back down. So we need a repeater, which is what I'm going to put here. Let me just kill this guy off here real quick. Because once it pulse, it summoned him, is what it did, by the way. And this should hopefully function. We push this back in here. So let's go for one more round. So this, and then let's just get this proper. Let me actually take this back out because I did not do it proper. So spike, wing, horn, this, and then ritual brazier. Ooh, I did not mean to do that. Okay, so I see the issue is now it's only doing that. So let's change this to a pulse. And that should now work. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So let's quickly set up the crusher. We're just going to set it up on one of the wings. Doesn't really matter which one. And let's pull it back one. And let's do the flux point. Let's grab our add-ons. Let's check and make sure that's wide enough. It is. Perfect. And let's go for this one more time. So, spike, wing, horn, and then ritual. Spawns in. Then dies. Okay. So I guess the next portion is to figure out how we want to give the items to these things. Which I don't think would be that hard. And I think I'm going to set it up right here. So modular router. And I don't know if I need multiple of these, but we may just give it a go first. And then basically say, hey, this one would be your summoner, this one would be your horn, this one would be your spike, and this one would be your wing. Kind of whichever order I think is necessary. Because we could do the sender modules. It looks like we may need more sender modules. And divide these up because they will share data. But we could do sender, hold on. Just do the tops. And we can do... That one has a module in it already. And then we say... like an interface or something from AE2 to pull items. That may not work. I don't know. You know what? I think that's going to do it for this episode. I think we're going to do a part 1 kind of thing. I will actually do some matter condensers and stuff to get the stuff we need. I don't think it'll be too bad. Because we could also do energy links. In all honesty, we don't have to do the energy condensers anymore. We could do energy links and just have all of this stuff pulled from one of those. This one would be the only one we'd have to like craft. I think I'll do that. So this is like automatic. We get a certain Wilden tribute amount and then we stop. I think that'll be perfect. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. I think we're close. I think this is actually almost a functioning system. We just got to figure out the final little piece, and we'll do that next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.